Primary power offline. Press WASD to move T3M4, then turn. Press caps lock to toggle first person. Do you want to skip bypassing the prologue?
Find what you're looking for amongst the dead. Close to death, yes. I am Kreia, and I am your rescuer, as you are mine. Tell me, do you recall? I confess I do recall rescuing you, the Republic ship you were on. Your stance, your war. So it would seem. Keep your past and let us focus on the now. I do not... The ship we... We were attacked once, and I fear our attackers will not give up the hunt so easily. Without transport, weapons, and information, they will find us easy prey indeed. Even as I you may wish to extend your search. I'm not offering. I leave you to the explorations of this place. Here I...
Emergency lockdown overridden.
Is this thing on? 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 Is this thing on?
All right, all hands, especially you, Corda. Listen up, because I'm not gonna say this again. The next one of you Juma heads to try and smuggle a blaster, or so help me, any sort of military-grade frag weapons into my facility is gonna take a long walk out the airlock. Why? Because in case you forgot, Paragian fuel explodes at high temperatures. That's what blasted that chunk out of Paragus 2 and created this asteroid field. So if I catch any of you with anything other than sonic charges or mining lasers, I'll burn you and your contract. Security out. And according to one of the miners, it was because one of the sonic charges went off prematurely. And like before, it was one set by a mining droid. The three idiots were grouped so close to the charge it might as well have been a grenade going off. The blast turned their bones to dust. The blast wrecked the internal components of the droid that set the charge, though, so we can't even dissect it to see what happened. I don't like what's going on here. Ever since that Jedi showed up, things are getting worse. It's not just Corda and his miners, or the fights, but now the droids are acting crazy. If we don't find what's causing this, or who, this facility is going to be space dust by the time the next Telos freighter arrives. So, you're in maintenance. Then maybe you can tell me what's going on with these droids.
Sir, I don't know. It's like their behavior cores are undergoing binary decay, but I can't find the source. This shouldn't be happening.
Well, that's reassuring. It isn't happening. So the next time we nearly have a breach in the ventilation tunnels, I could just close my eyes and pretend it's my imagination. You better give me some answers. I want to know the damage these droids can do if they start mining us instead of asteroid rock.
Sir, these droids aren't combat models. Their mining lasers are weaker and less accurate than blasters. I doubt those droids could even hit one of us.
Are you blind? What about the miners in Medbay? It's sabotage, and it started right after the commander said we weren't going to sell the Jedi to the exchange. So I want you to find out how these droids are being sabotaged. That'll tell me who's trying to clear a path to get that Jedi off the facility, and stop him. In the meantime, make sure the security's armed with all the ion and sonic charges you can find. If those droids start coming after me, I'm gonna need more than low-grade mining lasers to take them down. Clear?
Yes, sir. Maintenance control out.
Idiot. So, you're in maintenance. Then...
Sir.
Yes. Idiot. I installed an override switch to shut down any droids on this level, just in case someone locks me out of the administration console. As added insurance, I tied the override switch into the circuit to the holding cell door. It'll make sure it can only be opened if all droids in the level are shut down. I doubt Corda or any of his men have the skill to pull off something like this, but I'm not taking any chances while we're sitting in the middle of this asteroid minefield. Whoever's responsible won't be able to have the droids rescue him after I lock him up. Nothing will cut through. I secured the stealth field generator. All I need to do is equip the belt, and some skill with stealth in order to use it. As long as I don't get too close to the droids, they shouldn't detect me. If any more droids start malfunctioning, the belt should buy me enough time to get to the I'd rather shut them down than destroy them. I want to find out how these droids are being sabotaged. Maybe even turn them against whoever's sabotaging them.
Be careful. There is much energy in the room beyond, yet it stems from nothing that lives. Can you not sense them? Reach out. Cast aside your sight. Cast aside what you see, and instead reach out with your perceptions. Ah, you can feel them. The droids you cannot perceive, but the small oscillations of energy, that you can feel, echoing outwards. Ah, you hear it. It is faint, but it is there. It is the Force you feel. It has not been so long as for you to forget. Do not turn away from it. Listen. Feel it echoing within you. Come, I shall guide you down the familiar paths. You will need it if we are to survive and escape this place. Beyond this door, someone yet lives. Be mindful. His thoughts are difficult to read. But you have nothing to fear from this one, and he might yet prove useful.
Nice outfit. What, you miners change regulation uniform while I've been in here? You mean before or after? You see, this Jedi shows up and, but the story gets bad. Well, what passes for the law here didn't like that idea. So the two groups...
Then there was some...
Don't know much about... Not... Like I doubt it. No. The ones that weren't killed in the Jedi Civil War ended up switching off the lightsabers long ago. Word is there's not even a Jedi Council anymore, but who knows? Yeah, Revan, Malak, and the Jedi that went to join them in the Mandalorian Wars. They turned against the other Jedi and had a scrap that almost laid waste to the galaxy. Where have you been?
Well, I wasn't there, but like all Sith, Revan and Malak turned on each other. After they turned on the Jedi, of course.
Well, that was the story, but whatever happened there must not have lasted. Oh, there was some big civil war on Korriban. Knocked that academy to the ground. Looks like Revan's Grand Crusade finally consumed her. Maybe you're right. Maybe I just hoped Revan was a woman. Look, hey. From my beautiful look. It was a misunderstanding. Trumped up charges. I could clear it up if I could just speak to somebody in charge, but seems to be no chance of that happening. Unless you let me out. Just in case you don't understand the trouble, this facility... You know why? What? So... This facility isn't a military... You... Great. Alright, here we are. Now this console is set on automatic hail. You may have heard it when you came in. The asteroid drift charts are constantly being updated, so it sends out a transmission to incoming vessels so they don't get crushed into space dust. The hail warns them to keep their distance until orbital drift charts are transmitted, and then provides docking instructions to incoming ships, usually freighters. Thing is, you can bounce that same transmission back to the comm here, and suddenly you've got access to the communication system from the inside. Pure Pazak. The console's ours. Now, all we need to do is reactivate the turbo lifts, cancel the emergency lockdown. Hey! This system's been severed from the main hub, after it was locked down from remote. You can't even reroute the system, it's been cut clean. No, someone tried to lock down this whole... I doubt it. Be my guest. So is that stupid droid of yours gonna come through or not? Well, I'm beginning to think I was a little better off in my... Hey, what do you know? A little cargo cylinder came through. If he got the turbo lifts working, then we should have a... Wait. Don't tell me you're taking that hatch down and... That explosion I heard came from below. There's probably nothing down there except superheated rock and... Me? You're the Jedi. If one of us has to go, then it's you. Guardians of peace and justice throughout the galaxy, last I heard. There's no way I'm going down there. You might as well lock me up again if you freed me just to throw me into a nest of Gundarks. I'll take coward over stupid any day. I'll keep the comlink on just in case you need some help. Not that I'll come running, mind you. I thought you were going down into the mining tunnels.
Everybody here? What's up, Kurta? We're supposed to be sinking fuel siphons into the 3218 asteroid shelf right now.
Forget the siphons. You know that survivor they pulled from the freighter? One of the miners said they served with him on Malachor 5.
Malachor 5? So he's one of the survivors. Or worse, a Mandalorian. So what?
Not a survivor, idiot. He's one of the Jedi from Malachor 5.
If he's one of the Jedi, hell, we can't have him walking around here. I don't know what he'll do.
I thought all the Jedi were wiped out in the Civil War, weren't they?
Guess they missed one. But it gets better. I did some checking, and that bounty on Nar Shaddaa is still live.
What? You want to sell the Jedi to the exchange? Kurta, have you been chewing spice?
Look, you know how big that bounty is? That Jedi's our ticket off this rock.
Gorda, there's no way the officers will go for that. They'll lock us up for sure.
Then we'll improvise.
a pleasure to see you alive, Master, provided my receptors are not off focus. How may I be of assistance? Hesitant answer. A T3 utility droid would be a common sight in this facility. It is indeed curious that I have not seen many since my arrival. However, I feel I must inform you that, droid prejudice aside, T3 models exhibit excessive individualism when not routinely memory wiped. This individualism can become such a nuisance that even a droid such as myself is tempted to reduce them to their base components, if not crush them into slag. But enough of my seemingly irrelevant tangent. Where did you leave the droid, Master? That would logically be the best place to look. Answer. Then that would explain why such a T3 unit isn't here, Master. I believe... Of course, Answer. I am a survivor of the Harbinger, just as you were, Master. With the unexpected termination of my previous Master, you are the only organic which I may now serve. Irritated answer. Oh, Master. Hesitant explanation. That has been the subject of considerable discussion since our arrival here, Master. Many have attempted to claim you and this unit as salvage. I was crudely interrogated concerning our brief history together on board the Harbinger. Before... Speculation. It is possible you were incapacitated. Recitation. Following the unusual set of coincidences, it appeared that this freight... Your cargo compartment was... Explanation. I believe it was a smuggler's vessel by the name of the... Speculation. As to its... Of course... Pitying. Answer. If he... If... More... Weary resignation. Very well, Master. But there is very little that I can do. You see, the airlock is sealed. Correction. Oh. Condescending explanation. Master, the console. Musing. Conjecture. Condescending explanation. Oh, yes, Master. The code is maintenance control, voice print ID, R1B5. But unless the maintenance officer speaks the code, it is useless. Placating answer. Oh, of course, Master. I shall endeavor not to forget such descriptors in the future. If I do, I assure you, it is merely a result of memory damage I have suffered since our arrival. Answer. Of course. Explanation. Answer. Greeting. It is a greeting. And I... Recitation? Oh yes, Master. The record of his...
5 droids, burning through the outer door. They're forcing their way into the bay. Please, someone that... Oh no, they're through! Oh, my leg! They're burning through my leg! Oh, stop! Stop, please!
Addendum. His remaining attempts at communication are variations in decibel, Master, ranging from frenzied screams to gibbering inarticulate attempts to beg for his life. Recitation?
5 droids.
Of course. Recitation.
5 droids.
Of course. Greeting. Objection. Irritated statement. Master, if you insist on echoing everything I say, this already tedious clarification. But yes, most droids are believed to possess ethics programming. Such programming would prevent me from using my incredible talents to bring... Of course. Greeting. It is a pleasure to see you intact, Master.
the sonic imprint sensor prototype for the mining droid. The sensor should allow me to issue voice commands to them rather than manually adjusting their... I've been... Finished my examination of the protocol. Still, there's been some... When the dock officer reported... Been too busy. I'm...
Glad you survived the tunnels. Found anything? Voice print? There's ways to beat voice, you know, and maybe there's samples of the... That's a start. See if... Yeah? Yeah, well...
Alarmed, queer, thoughtful. It is too... Maintenance control, voice print ID, R1B5.
Found anything? Voice print? There, you know, and maybe... Yeah. Look, you know, so they are still alive. And that's a...
So, you're in maintenance. Then maybe you can tell me what's going...
Sir, I don't know. It's like their behavior
Well, you better give me some answers.
Sir,
Are you blind? So I... In the
yes, sir.
Idiot.
Emergency lockdown is in effect. Turbo lifts have been sealed to contain.
Still only one. Still couldn't aside from it. Miners. No, it's a.
Yes? I do not know. Why did they spare you? Very well. If they do not find us first, be watchful. Yes? I do not know. Very...
it's about time.
Except I'm picking you...
Huh? You're crazy, even for a Jedi. Look, you need to get out of there, quick. What little is left of the facility's venting system, they're venting Paragus fuel deposits into space through the exterior vents. The vents look like they've been purposely rerouted to vent the gases to the exterior, and only in the last few minutes. Now what now? I don't believe this. There's a ship coming in. I have a bad...
He has come.
Almost didn't make it out of the dormitory.
Yes.
Hey, try...
Oh, what? Not all.
Kurta, keep...
You, but...
Mocking query. Kurta, are you dead yet? Smug statement. I believe I forgot to mention that I reversed the turbolift codes. In case you managed to get this far.
Emergency lockdown overridden.
I have felt a disturbance. Our enemy is here. We are together. We need to make our way to the docking area on this level. I fear the airlock has already opened, and if so, we must be on our guard. What is it?
What in space? Alright.
I hope your talent for understatement is offset by your skill with a blaster. If not, then I fear our time together will be short indeed.
Yeah, and I'm also good at running and drinking, Your Mad.
And even if you two aren't big friends of the Republic, that warship's the only way off this station. Good thing we have a clear run to the ship.
Threat. Master, perhaps I did not enunciate clearly the last time we spoke. I suggested that you should shut down, stay put, and wait for rescue. Clarification. The function. Resignation.
I hear you.
What is it?
Target acquired. Shipment. Self-destruct. 3, 2. Systems failing, Master.
Yes. Something is wrong.
You sense no one on board? Sense... Then what do you
If the...
Look, I don't... You'll... Oh, you mean with the huge crew we brought along with us? That's...
We...
Well, of course... Well...
That... Our enemies... Very well. I shall...
Time to take you down to size.
And too much territory to cover. We're still rebuilding from the war with Malik, and sometimes I wonder if we'll ever recover. Still, we have our orders, and the Republic's put the highest priority on this mission. Looks like the trouble on Onderon will have to wait. We expect to arrive within 10 standard days, provided there's no mishaps. I've been ordered to give the passenger no special treatment, nor make any indication of his identity. I have some reservations about turning the Harbinger into a passenger liner, but the orders were clear. Whoever this passenger is, he's got diplomatic level priority, whether he knows it or not.
distress signal and are sending a message to the Republic for permission to investigate. We have also transmitted the damaged vessel's ID signature to the Republic. According to the message, it's being pursued by Sith forces. There's no match for the vessel in our databanks, but the profile of the distress signal suggests it's a stock freighter of some kind. We'll only know for sure when we arrive, and we'll find out if the signal's genuine or a trap. We wanted to check with you, sir, before diverting course from Telos. There appears to be some battle that has taken place in the sector, and we've received a distress signal.
You have permission to divert course, Captain. If there is a Sith presence in the region, I want you to investigate. The ID signature on the freighter, did you get confirmation on it?
Yes, sir. We did not have the vessel listed in our databanks, so we transmitted the code to you. Was there a match?
There was, Captain. If you find any trace of that vessel, even wreckage, I want it recovered.
Yes, sir.
After you've investigated the sector, resume course to Telos with the passenger. It is of the highest importance that he reach Telos.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure he arrives intact.
Good hunting, Captain. Admiral Seed, out.
Sometimes I wonder if the right hand of the Republic knows what the left hand is doing. I'm always being kept in the...
Query. You sent for me, Captain.
Yes, I need you to check on the passenger again, see if there's anything he needs. Try not to be too obvious about it. His...
Statement, as always.
Let's settle this.
Are you all right? We do not have much time. Whatever you intend...
Something's wrong. Ever since we picked up that Sith firefight in the region, crewmen haven't been reporting for their shifts, and I can't reach people on the comm. The strange thing is, I keep feeling like someone's watching us here in the ship, but I can't see anyone. I don't like this. Checking the survivor from the Sith vessel. I'm not sure whether he's alive or dead, or what's even keeping him together. His flesh is cracked and scarred, and I'm registering several thousand fractures in his skeleton, as if each bone was splintered repeatedly over time, then put back together. Judging from the scar tissue, I believe these wounds took place before his death. If so, he must have been in constant pain. I have no idea what's been keeping him together. This is the medical officer. The soldiers sent to the medical bay have just died. I don't know where the subject went. I think he's gone to find more of the crew. With him are Sith. They just appeared right out of thin air, like they were wearing stealth generators, but I think they were always on board. When we stopped to pick up that freighter, they must have come on board the Harbinger. I have no idea how many are on the ship. There could be only a few, or as many as 100. And with communications cut off, we can't call for help. I think that thing in the tank was a Sith Lord, alive the whole time, waiting for something to wake him up.
I will silence this one.
Time for more where that came from. I hear you.
What is it?
I have a bad feeling about this. All right, but don't say I didn't warn you. Trust me, when it comes to staying alive...
I have come for the Jedi.
This battle is mine alone. I am not defenseless.
He cannot kill what he cannot see, and power has blinded him long ago. Run! I shall be along shortly.
Tell me you're joking. We are not going to cross back into the Paragus facility.
All right.
I sense you, my master. Faint, weak.
Your senses betray you, as you betrayed me.
After all that's happened, still you live. You are difficult to kill.
For one as limited as you, perhaps. To have fallen so far and learned nothing, that is your failing.
The failure is yours. No longer do your whispers crawl within my skull. No longer do I suffer beneath teachings that weaken us. And now you run in search of the Jedi. They are all dead, save one. And one broken Jedi cannot stop the darkness that is to come.
Perhaps we shall see.
What's wrong? Are you all right?
Damn it, hold on, it's only a little
What happened to you? All right. It's a utility droid. I hear you. I hear you. Time to take you down to size. Let's settle this. Let's settle Everyone down! Let's settle. This. I hear you.
I have no intention of being left behind. Now, let us leave.
If they hit us, we're dead, but if they keep missing us, we're dead. It's great odds. Somebody shut that trap! I'm doing all... Well, either they hit us...
What are the asteroids? They can be destroyed by us as well as them, can they not?
That'll take out the whole field, the colony, and maybe us. We might not even be able to jump to hyperspace.
Then we die here. Choose...
Hold on!